The Flash, which came out last year in 2023. This is a movie I bought on Black Friday, and a movie that I actually really enjoyed compared to a lot of other people who seem to really not enjoy this movie. I can admit a lot of problems with this movie, but I still think at the end of the day, it's an enjoyable, fun movie. A lot of people disagree with me, and that's all right. I don't give a flying flip. It was fun enough for me. And so, yeah, I got the Blu-ray, 4K Blu-ray for this on Black Friday. This is actually a really decent Blu-ray, I'm not going to lie. It doesn't have a commentary, therefore it already is down to like an 8 out of 10, but it has some good stuff here. Talks about the making of The Flash, talks about the DC Universe, which, is no longer a thing, at least not this one. Talks about Michael Keaton returning as Batman. It talks about how they filmed the Bat Chase towards the beginning of the movie. Talks about Supergirl battling Zod, bringing Zod back. Talks about the Dark Flash. It talks about there's a whole podcast on here, like a podcast series on Flash on here. I was kind of surprised by that. Talked about Flash period and his entire history as a character. Talks about Supergirl. Deleted scenes were really kind of dumb. They were just extra little bits in scenes that are actually in the movie. And some of them, I'm confused at what's different. I think it's just little lines that are different. What else we got on here? Yeah, that's about it. So yeah, quite a bit of stuff on here. So it was quite an enjoyable 4K, I'm not going to lie. I wasn't expecting it to be quite as good as this. But yeah, it's got quite a bit of stuff on here. What I was surprised about was how much practical stuff was actually in this movie. The Batcave is pretty much entirely practical. The waterfall is a screen, a TV screen, essentially. It's basically kind of like the volume. Like the Batcave is like the biggest ever built Batcave as far as practical goes, essentially ever. So that I found interesting. I did not know that the entirety of, well, actually, I kind of did guess that the entirety of the end finale in the desert takes place in a warehouse with a bunch of green screens around it. And it sounds like they wanted to film practically for that, but because of COVID, they couldn't. And that was something I found really interesting. It's just something that seemed to have happened with a lot of movies last year. A lot of these movies that came out last year were filmed in 2020, 2021. And things had to be changed because of COVID. And I personally feel like just after watching this, also learning some things about Dead Reckoning Part 1, COVID really messed things up. And I feel like that's why the quality of movies last year wasn't necessarily the greatest, because COVID. Things were rewritten. There were certain places that they wanted to film in that they no longer could. They talked in this how they were going to film the end finale in an actual desert. That didn't happen because of COVID. They talked about how the neighborhood in which Barry lives in as a child, that was supposed to be a practical neighborhood in the United States. Due to COVID, though, they had to film in, I think it was the UK, and they built an entire neighborhood. So yeah, it seems like a lot of things were changed due to COVID. And I think that's something that is really disappointing. With just all movies that came out last year, essentially, is everything, the art was not there for art. It was there because of COVID at times. And that's disappointing. The fact that something is changed due to some stupid, I'm not going to say stupid. Something was changed due to COVID, due to illness, to this flu that was going on. It really changed the art. And that's very unfortunate, because I think the movies that we got last year weren't always the greatest. And the budgets were also higher because of it, they're saying with each movie that filmed during COVID, essentially, they added on like a $50 million budget onto it. So a $200 million movie, kind of like this one, I believe, had like around a $200 million budget, became a $250 million budget. And that's a lot, considering, already how big of a budget it was. So I think that was just a disappointment. So yeah, the bonus features on this was really great. I was quite surprised. As far as a Blu-ray rating, I'm going to give this one like an 8 out of 10. It was a very good Blu-ray. I like that it went into the characters and their, the comics. There were certainly things I didn't know about Supergirl and Flash as far as comics go. Oh, excuse me. There are certainly things I didn't know that I was surprised about. So that was really interesting to see. As far as the movie itself, I have talked about this, I think a couple times on my longer podcast episodes. Again, I enjoy this movie. There are some definite problems with this. Basically, any person in here that is CGI looks like crap. They look like Play-Doh. It looks terrible. The babies at the beginning just look bad. Why they had it look this bad is beyond me. They show kind of how they did this practically, too, in a sense. They had a building, essentially, that was, on a mechanical arm, essentially, and going up and down. I show a stunt woman with a fake baby that's not CGI. And I'm not saying a fake baby would look any better, but, if you watch, like, American Sniper, you can get away with that fake baby a little more than you kind of CGI-looking crappy baby. So it's just interesting how much they went practical with this, and they couldn't make it look better. I personally kind of feel like, again, it could have been just COVID. They had to adjust scenes to have CGI people in it because they couldn't get, close to people. And again, that just, if you're going to refix that, you got to fix it in a better way, I guess. And I just think that entire scene really isn't necessary. You could have focused on the chase, and not had the whole hospital bit. You could have just had Flash helping Batman with this chase, and I think that would have been fine. So yeah, I just, the entire beginning part is the whole, when they're in the kaleidoscope going back in time thing, I let that one go. It's a weird kaleidoscope thing playing with time. They should look, and they're going so fast through time, it should kind of look rubbery to me. I don't know why I'm okay with that, but I just am. What really gets me about this movie is kind of the story. The story of Flash going back in time to save his mom is really interesting. Now, they kind of switch and go to the multiverse kind of storyline instead, which isn't quite as interesting, but it's still a beautiful, a beautiful story, about saving people that we've lost, going back in time if we could. And even if it would mess up everything, would we do it? It is really interesting. And you also get that scene between Bruce and Barry where, Bruce is talking about how, he has lived in the past for too long and it's time to move forward. It's something that I feel like everyone in life kind of goes through at a point in time. We all kind of learn that we have to move forward. And it's something that some people take 30 seconds to get over. Some people take 30 years to get over. And I just find that very relatable in a sense. I have a hard time moving forward with certain things sometimes too. So I get it. Something that bugs me every time I watch this movie too. I love Michael Keaton back as Batman. He's great. The bits where he's literally looking at camera and going, "You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts." It don't work. And I'm Batman. It doesn't work. It doesn't feel natural at all. It feels like, hey, we're literally going to quote a line from the movie to make you go, "Oh, he said it. He said it. That's the line." It's the Leonardo DiCaprio Once Upon a Time in Hollywood thing. And yeah, I can't stand that. So yeah, but Keaton himself is so good in this. His fake wig and beard Why do you have to have that to show that he's a recluse? Come on, we don't need that. Supergirl, absolutely great. Shasha something, I don't remember her last name. She's great. I absolutely love her in this. Ezra Miller is a sensitive topic. I think he does great as both Barrys. I think he does a great job. I really do. And I shouldn't say they, which that was another thing that was interesting in the bonus features. It was one of the stunt coordinators. She was talking, and every time she referred to Ezra, she was saying he. So did Ezra switch from he to they from in 2022? When did that happen? That's what I want to know. Because his stunt coordinator was saying he. So that's why I'm confused now. Because usually I'm pretty good at saying they when it comes to Ezra. I'm saying he now because literally the stunt coordinator was saying hey, or he. So like, I'm confused by that. Maybe it was after this. I don't know. But yeah, I found that interesting. There are some moments where you can tell that, there's a CGI face on, the second Ezra, essentially, played by another actor. That was something interesting to watch in the bonus features, too. You see the actual actor. He actually makes a cameo towards the end of the movie as well, too. I did not know that. So that was cool to see. I really enjoy this score. It's kind of like techno-y at times. I really like that. I found it to be an enjoyable score when they kind of mix in the Tim Burton, who did the score for that? Why can't I remember? Anyways, the 1989 Batman theme, it's done really well. I really enjoyed it. The Batman death, I don't love it. He just kind of goes out. I would have liked something a little bit more epic. If you're going to bring back Keaton after 30 years, make it a little more epic. And I just don't think it was that epic. I would have liked a little bit more from it, I guess. The whole Superman's thing in the Kaleidosphere is so out of place. This is a Flash movie. Why are you showing Superman's? If you had done Batman's, it would have made more sense, which they do show the Adam West Batman, but that's really about it. It's more focused on Superman's. And there's just no point. This isn't a Superman movie. This is a Flash movie with Batman in it. So if you had had Batman, it would have made maybe a little bit more sense. Because you do show, spoiler alert, George Clooney at the end of this. We do show Michael Keaton. I mean, it just didn't make any sense to me why we have Superman. So yeah, I enjoy this movie quite a bit. There's a lot of issues, don't get me wrong, but I think this is one of those movies that are just fun. And it does have that beautiful storyline between his mother. That scene towards the end where he's with his mom in the supermarket and he's realizing that he's essentially killing his mom, that's crazy to me. It is such an emotional, it's a crazy scene. Like, just the idea of that is mind-blowing. So yeah, I don't understand. It's just such a powerful scene. I really think it's a very powerful scene. What else here? What else can I say about this movie? The biggest thing that honestly bugs me about this movie, we still don't know who killed Barry's mom. There doesn't seem to be much investigating into who's the killer. It's more just investigating his dad didn't do it. Don't you want to know who actually did it? Don't you think you could prove, by finding out who actually did it? And maybe they were trying to set that up for a sequel. I don't know. I don't know if that was taken out because they knew the DC is dying and it's going, being rebooted. I don't know. I just find that interesting. It doesn't make any sense to me. So, yeah. Overall, I also give this movie an 8 out of 10. Same as I did the 4K. I enjoy this movie. It's fun. Is there way too much CGI? Yes. Another thing that's kind of disappointing about the Batman stuff is the fight scenes. You can tell that it's just CGI sometimes, and it doesn't fully work. But it's still cool to see Keaton back. I still enjoy the movie for what it is. It is a fun little time travel movie. I had fun with it. Call me crazy. I know people back in Wisconsin certainly did when I went back and told them that I enjoyed the movie, So yeah, guys, that is my review of The Flash 4K as well as the movie itself. Tell me I'm crazy in the comments. Please tell me if you're one of those people that aren't crazy like me or are crazy like me and you enjoy this movie, because I certainly do. It's a fun movie. It just is. So you guys, I hope you guys have a great day. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and we'll see you next time.